We're going to be using Mobil full synthetic 10W30, sort of wide temperature range. So that's what I'm using on the walk behind. And so I'm just going to tip it over. I have a bucket here. I just dump the oil in there and then take it to a recycling center. However, it's sort of a pain in the neck to do, so I'm probably not going to do it on camera. But all it is I just keep a bucket there and I just tilt it over. It'll just drain out right there. And then, yeah, I got the oil filter here. This one's a Briggs & Stratton. It requires a smaller filter just to fit in the space, but they're all comparable. They're all the same. So I'm going to switch it out with the Kohler one that's already on there. And so I ran it for about a minute or so just to warm up the oil. Makes it easier to drain, and then I'm just going to dump it all out. But yeah, I always run it just to expedite the process, because if it's cold, the oil is going to move real slow. So we're trying to go, right? Time is money here. So I'm going to drain it out. We'll get back to switching out the oil filter and stuff. It's a pain in the neck to film it while doing it. So yeah, it's draining out there. It's real dark and black. You want to do, I forget, you just want to follow the manual as it recommends. But I think I got a little bit behind on the oil changes, so yeah, you can see it's dark, black, and viscous. However, I'm running full synthetic, so that'll give you some leeway there between maintenance intervals. What they recommend is 100-hour oil changes for conventional, but I just change them every 100 usually with synthetic anyway. It's just this time I got sort of behind. So yeah, we'll just wait for all that to drain out. It's just not really that much oil as compared to the large rider. That one requires much more. Yeah, we'll just wait for this one to finish dripping out, and I might remaneuver it a little bit more just to see how much more I can get out of it. But yeah, there's not a lot of oil in this one, so let's wait till it drains. And underneath, this is just a lid off the container where I house all the spent oil, and I'm just going to slip it sort of. Yeah, no matter how you do this, there's going to be oil that's going to get on the ground. You just try and minimize that to the best of your ability. So I'll just put that right down there, and I have the replacement. One here. So we got it right here. This one's a Briggs & Stratton, which I went to the local shop. This is what they had. Usually I prefer to operate with the Kawasaki's #1. Kohler, I'll take a close second. Usually I don't mess around with Briggs. Their higher end engines are good, but the low ones just are terrible. So I forget how I got this off. You know, there's obviously a lot of stuff in the way, so it's a matter of slipping on this mechanism. It just removes the oil filter, so it applies pressure on all sides just to pull it off. So you got to slip it in there, and then give it a turn, and get this thing off. So yeah, you're probably going to spill some oil in this process, so make sure you have a cloth or some sort of rag handy. Surprisingly, there's a lot of oil that's still in there, even though I drained most of it. You'll see it pouring out. It's already coming out on the sides. So there we go, and there it is. So just make sure the oil pan is ready. Oh, shit. So that's #2. Drop that in there. Dispose of that later. And I'm just going to clean this up and reaffix. Smaller engines and smaller mowers, a little bit easier to deal with. So I have the replacement oil filter here. And so what you want to do is, you see there's a gasket that runs along the perimeter. I just use some of the new oil. Damn it. There it is. And I'm just going to rub it along the top of the seal. That's just going to ensure proper adhesion. It's going to make a nice tight seal so we don't get any oil leakage. So you're going to reaffix it, and you're going to tighten by hand tighten it. And then they usually recommend you use the tool just to do another turn or so. You don't want to over tighten it. So just do as they recommend. I always tighten a little bit more just to ensure that it doesn't go anywhere. So right there is hand tight. I ripped the glove. I always wear gloves when handling the used oil because apparently it causes skin cancer, so it's better safe than sorry. So again, easy to tighten, just do it that way. That's good. So that there is done. So we're gonna pour some more oil in the top and then we're gonna check the level. Gonna pour some oil in there. This one doesn't require as much. I think it's like half a liter, something like that. So I'm just gonna, it's a little bit of guesswork. So, I mean, that might just, a little bit more. That might just fill it right there. So then we're gonna just set. So I'm all set for another 100 hours. The thing's set to go. I just poured it in. This thing doesn't require that much oil. It's a smaller displacement engine. So it's only, like half a liter. And so that's it. It's good to go. One thing I also like to do is every time I change out the fuel or intermittently, I'll just look at the filter. The Kawasaki's have this, it's a pre-filter mechanism, so I just shake it out. You can wet it with a hose or shake it out on something. And, just to eliminate any particulates from getting in the engine, clogging up the carburetor. So that thing's clean, and I'll just clean out this as well. And you just replace it as the manual describes. That's it. That's done. So these machines are all tuned up. They are ready to go for some more mowing. So get that on. That's secure. I'll put this over top. So these are done. Both machines are good to go. Change on the Kawasaki though. This is the FJ180V, so 180cc engine. So yeah, hope you enjoyed watching. Thanks guys, have a good one. So I meant to add something to the oil change video, which is there's going to be one main takeaway here is, checking the oil dipstick. And we think you just stick it in and check it, but in reality, with the Kawasaki engines, in order to check the oil level, you remove it, but you don't screw it in. It says here on the side, for the correct oil level, do not turn cap on threads. So in order to check the oil level on the Cowies, it's really important that you just stick it in, leave it in there for a little bit. Obviously wipe it off when you take it out and stick it back in and then check it. But you don't want to screw it in because that's going to give you an improper oil reading. So you don't want to be running with low or not enough oil. So that's just a major thing there that you want to hone in on and take care of.